This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, LowcoSports fans, welcome to another edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. I am Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr, and we're talking sports in the South Carolina Lowcountry and leaving most of the football stuff over to the football shows for the time being, Wes. But we do have a little filtering in because we got the man of the week, Kacy Fields, the man of the last 3 weeks, really. Kacy Fields from Beaufort High School, just putting up ridiculous numbers, 774 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns in 3 games since he moved to running back, and has Beaufort looking like a state title contender again. So we were able to pin him down, which nobody has been able to do. We're the only people who could pin down Kacy Fields, including opposing defenses. But we got him, so we'll have him later in the show, about 20 minutes of just gold with Kacy, who was awesome. And just as impressive in the interview as he's been on the football field. So that was great stuff. But other than that, we'll keep it off the football field. We're going to talk a little girls golf because Hilton Head Prep halfway to another state championship as we record on Tuesday, and should have it wrapped up pretty soon. So we may even be able to give a live update as we record, Wes. We'll see what happens. But we've also got new commitments for the CJ Cup in South Carolina out at Congaree. 4 big names that you definitely know if you follow golf, and especially if you're watching the President's Cup last week. And then USCB soccer update, valiant effort against the number 3 team in the country, but came up short. You'll tell us more about that, Wes. And then I'll tell you a little bit about some local softball players who are helping us out coaching at the rec level this fall, and how that came to be. It's been really fun. And then we'll talk with Kacy and name our teams of the week. So a little more brief show today, maybe this week. But definitely a lot of stuff going on out there. And how are you doing, Wes? How are you holding up? It was a weird week because we covered football on Wednesday, made it feel like Friday, and then the storm that was supposed to hit us, we got really lucky. So it was just kind of a strange few days, but it was nice to be able to breathe a little bit and get some stuff done around the house. What did you get done during your hurricane?
Yeah, just able to relax on one for a few days and just get some rest, which has certainly been going hard these last few weeks and covering a lot of high school football and fall sports. So good to just get some relaxation and ride out, which it wasn't much of a storm that came through here. But I'm very thankful to be back to a normal Monday after, quite a scare last week with Hurricane Ian. But, we're lucky that we got spared this time, and we send good wishes to all who are dealing with the aftermath of the storm. But, I was able to, like I said, get some rest over these last days, which is nice, and excited to get back into what's going to be another big week of fall sports, especially on the football field. And it was certainly heating up because, just looking back on week 6, what a classic it was on Wednesday with the Bluffton Bobcats taking home the Bridge Bowl in overtime. I mean, what a gutsy performance from backup quarterback Trace Hillman coming in for Von Hohenstraten, who had a shoulder injury to leave the game in the first quarter. And Hillman came in and threw 3 touchdown passes, led the Bobcats back. They ended up taking it in overtime, an absolute thriller. And I'm just so excited about this Bluffton team moving forward with the energy that Hayden Gregory and Jared Karkoff have brought to this group. And they have to be on an emotional high after Wednesday. And they could very well be a team that will be a tough outcome playoff time. But, yeah, my thoughts and prayers continue to go out to everyone impacted by Hurricane Ian, both on the Florida coastline and up over to Myrtle Beach as well. So they from what I've heard, got a good bit of damage over there, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So sending my prayers and best wishes for everyone affected by the storm, and look forward to hopefully things being much smoother for the remainder of hurricane season. But with high school football in full force now and the CJ Cup coming up, it's going to be a heck of an October here at LowcoSports.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, we are on hurricane watch, I guess, all month. So that's the only thing that definitely has you holding your breath a little bit. We definitely got lucky with this one. I mean, right up to Thursday night, it looked like, man, it was going to swing around and give us a direct hit. And the next morning it had swooped around to Georgetown and Myrtle Beach. So best wishes to those folks. Luckily it unfortunately it did a ton of damage in Florida, is why it wasn't as bad up here. So I've got friends down in Daytona Beach who got pummeled, and Obviously, the folks over in Fort Myers got it really bad. So, best wishes to them, and definitely hope everyone is doing their part to help out if they're able, and feel compelled. So, we got lucky. We got all our football games in for the most part. I mean, a couple got canceled that were postponed to Thursday, and then Thursday got dicey, so they ended up canceling them. But Hilton Head Christian got theirs in last night at First Baptist and got a nice 28-12 win. So, it was a win overall. Proactive scheduling for the win. Good job moving to Wednesday. The weather was fantastic. A little windy, but great football weather. Battery Creek got a nice win too at home, and I enjoyed seeing that one. So
Did you
it
see
all
that
worked out
picture
their
of
best.
the skyline, the beautiful orange pink-esque skyline
Yeah.
on Hilton Head football field, or in the sky on that football game? Just incredible. I sent a picture of it to my Twitter, uh, Wednesday Night Lights. I put something like that, but yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. That sunset.
Yeah, I did a little Instagram video from Beaufort doing the same thing, just capturing that sunset behind the trees with the football game going on. I mean, it was really an iconic setting. It was pretty. That day or two before the hurricane, is bearing down on you. There's something special and calm about that moment, and it's sobering, I guess, so yeah, we're fortunate this time that it didn't nail us, but it did make for some nice weather, and a little cooler now. Feels like football weather for sure. So excited to get back out there on Friday night, and we got a bunch of great games on tap. So check out the Lowco Pigskin preview to get ready for week 7 already of the high school football season, and we get our wake up call that fall season is starting to wind down when Skeeza girls golf comes out of nowhere with the state championship that we weren't ready for yet, and it's always a good report from Hilton Head Prep that lulls us out of our, or that takes us out of our napping, and the Dolphins are at it again. They had a great first round yesterday at Orangeburg. Country Club shot let's see what we got, Wes, 345. So they had a 10-shot lead over Porter Gowd. Bridget Wilkie leading the way. She shot 6 over 78 and was just one shot off the lead. A couple of people, Aubrey Merriman from Pinewood Prep and Peyton Birch from Cardinal Newman, both shot 5 over. So right in the mix. Nina Morgan also in there. Hilton Head Christian's Katie Ireland in 5th place, and the Eagles in 5th overall. So really interesting to see, or great to see Hilton Head Christian getting back in the mix among the top teams in Skeeza, and then Hilton Head Prep obviously just kind of locking down that top spot. Although Porter Gowd giving them a run for their money here. This is going to be interesting to see how it plays out in the second round. Right.
Great job this program continues to do, and the class of Skeeza golf these last few years, and these girls have put in the work year round to get to this level. Obviously, it's a short season in terms of high school golf, but the work happens over the winter, the spring, and the summer, and be able to play golf and these Hilton Head conditions year round is always a big benefit for these young ladies. And Stephen Moe and these coaches at Prep are great mentors to get these girls ready to get those results on the course. So we'll keep you updated and have a recap out once the action is wrapped up.
Yeah, it should be. We probably won't get it in today's show if I'm doing the math right, because I think the leaders teed off about, the last group went off at 10:40. So It'll be a little bit. Those usually don't go too fast. Those things, the big state tournaments with a lot of players. So, but yeah, terrific work. And these girls, they put in so much work on their own too. They all have private coaches and work their tails off. So, and work their school schedules around it. I mean, there's a lot going on here. These are top level players who are trying to play at the next level and going all in on it. And having great results. The Wilkie girls have been terrific, and the Burnett sisters, tearing it up at Furman. So they've had great results of putting kids in programs and where they can succeed. So hopefully they'll be able to pull off another state championship here, and they've got some young talent on that team too. So should be able to keep it going for a while. Keeping it on the golf course, let's talk CJ Cup, Wes. We knew that Rory McIlroy, being the only name they released on media day, was just a matter of time before they started trickling some more out and trying to get some buzz. And now we see this with the heritage releases, right, where they'll group the commitments together into themes. So I can't wait to see what the next theme is. But the first one is President's Cup. So we got two of the Korean players that will get to showcase, Siwoo Kim and Tom Kim, who are both on that international team in the President's Cup, and then two of the young American stars of the game, really, Colin Murakawa and Justin Thomas, two guys that golf fans know very well, heritage fans know very well, because they've both been in the mix here in the past. Murakawa, I'm certain, is going to win here if he continues to come here year after year, and I'm really excited for him at Congaree. So some big commitments here. I mean, we knew these were the kind of names that were going to be coming here because it's really a pretty exclusive field. So, but exciting to start to put some actual names in the field and think about the guys who are going to be hitting shots at Congaree in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a star-studded field here in the Lowco, and we are just 2 weeks away from the CJ Cup in South Carolina. That's fantastic. Hard to believe that it is coming up so fast, but it's going to be a heck of a weekend because we just picked up 4 big-time commitments, including 2 very well-known names in the sport nationally and worldwide. I mean, joining Rory McIlroy, the headliner from a few weeks ago, but now we have Justin Thomas and Colin Murakawa, 2 of the brightest young American stars in the game. So that's 3 players in the top 10 of the official golf rankings. World Golf Rankings already in the field. Rory, of course, the defending champ of this event when it was played back in Las Vegas last year. And JT will be there as well, the winner of the PGA Championship back in May. And he's got, I believe, 10 or 11 top 10 finishes last season in PGA Tour, which is very impressive. I'm excited to see how he does Timmy Congaree. I think this is a great fit for him. And then one of my favorite golfers I've enjoyed watching, especially at the Heritage, and a favorite of our guy, Brian Rietveld, our Lowco golf correspondent. And that, of course, is Colin Murakawa. And, I think he has got an excellent shot in a big week in Congaree. I mean, one of the best all-around players on tour. He's ranked 3rd in shots gained approaching the green. He's also strong off the tee, which is very important on a course where you have to be accurate, and he's fantastic with his iron play too. So certainly will be at the top of most likely winners here. But what I think is the coolest part of this tournament is the opportunity to see the best golfers from Korea as well. And we know that 2 will be there, Siwoo Kim and Tom King, both members of the International President's Cup team that will be in the field. So, 2 guys who have made their mark nationally and internationally. And Siwoo Kim has been very consistent on the tour. He'll make majority of his cuts. No cut here, of course, but you can always count on him to have a solid week. And it's going to be a special one for him representing Korea in his country's national tournament. So does have a top 10 finish this year, 3 career PGA Tour wins, including the 2017 Players Championship. And then Tom Kim, a sensational young player, just 20 years old. He's got some excellent ball striking abilities, very accurate from the fairway. He's coming off an appearance at the President's Cup. And, he certainly learned a lot playing an event like that. What a great opportunity for a young man that just making his way in the golf stage and in international golf stage. And, excited to see his game and what he can do at Congaree. And maybe it could be a breakthrough week like it was for Garrett Kigo last June in the Palmetto Championship. So we are getting very close to what is going to be a fantastic week of golf with a field that will rival what we see at the Heritage. So, I mean, what an awesome opportunity for us once again here. That's 4 PGA Tour events in just 2 years in the Lowco, which is amazing. Just what an opportunity for golf fans. I cannot wait to head out to Congress to cover this in just 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches. And, the more I think about this thing, obviously we're going to have to see how it goes, but the more I think about this thing, the more it makes sense for this to be a long-term fit for this event. I mean, the one sort of concern that you have about Congaree as a PGA Tour stop is the footprint, like the logistics, the parking, those things. They did a really good job of it, but it was, it was strained a little bit. But with a limited field event like this, a little bit smaller, it makes it a little more feasible. Where do you put up all the players was a big problem, so it just, this event really fits. Plus you have the Congaree Global Golf Initiative and their worldwide, commitment to growing the game and using it to do good. So, I think that fits in really well with the CJ Cup and its mission, and with the Korean element. Obviously, I think they'd love to move this event back to Korea in due time, but when is that? We don't know. So, I think Congaree can be a really good, semi-permanent host for it, and we can see where that goes from there. But certainly, all eyes will be on how it goes this first time around, and we've seen from these folks what to expect, and we have no doubt that they're gonna knock it out of the park, or knock it down the middle, about 350, right? So going to be a great time. Really looking forward to seeing some more names come out, and I suspect we'll see those trickle out, each Monday for a couple weeks here, and then every day leading up. So we'll be hearing more and more names coming out that will be coming to Congaree. Going to be good stuff coming up fast. Well, let's switch it over to the pitch, Wes, and talk a little bit about USCB soccer, because we did preview on the last episode that they were going to take on number 3 in the country, Columbus State. And you and I talked a little bit the other day, and they put up a heck of a fight. That defense continues to play exceptionally, but just couldn't find the back of the net enough times. But continue to be encouraged by Jay Harris's squad and how they stack up against some of the best in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I knew this was going to be a challenge for the Sand Sharks taking on the third-ranked team in Division II, and USCB is just their first season in their 3-year transition period heading from the NAIA to Division II. But I thought they held their own very well in this contest, and I loved the effort and the hustle. And despite the 2-0 loss, you have to come away from this one thinking that this team can compete against anybody in the Peach Belt Conference. And the defense was very impressive against a talented Columbus State team, and that back line was pressuring for every loose ball and fighting hard to win tackles, and just so impressed by the cohesiveness and the grit from this team. Some players that really stood out. Leah White saved the goal in the first half with the alertness to clear the ball right at the goal line. I mean, that's someone who will always give it her all on the pitch. Marcella Chartuni was an absolute star in the field defensively. Did a great job denying the inside and playing some aggressive lockdown defense. And Emily Worrell, the keeper, made a couple big saves before the Cougars scored on just a rocket off the crossbar late in the first half, and then ended up batting another one in the second half. But just very impressed by the way this team just hung around, couldn't get the offense going. Credit to that stout Columbus State defense, but that's a great learning experience for a team making this transition to D2 soccer, going up against the best of the best. And just love the depth they have this year. I mean, they're starting to meld in a couple new additions to this team. Molly Kerr got the start on defense, transfer from Charleston area, really impactful and hardworking player with a great IQ of the game. And then both Kennedy Harris and Savannah Page have been incredible additions of freshmen. Savannah Page has already been racking up the goals. I believe she already has 4 or 5 on the season. She scored in the very first college game she played, and she added 2 in a recent contest. So she's really been a huge spark on offense and a great finisher at the receiving end of some passes from players like Mari Kalvatin and Sine Bai Anderson. So I really love the way this team, the chemistry of this team, and the way they interact together, communicate on the field. And the defense has been just outstanding every game so far this year. So really impressed for their start to 8-2. Got some time off after Ian postponed Saturday's home game. They will be back in action on Wednesday for another key conference matchup that will be at USC Aiken, and then they'll be at Young Harris on Saturday. So a chance to rebound and get to 10 wins this weekend. What's been a really fun team to call games for so far.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with. Do they have a fun name for that rivalry yet against the Thoroughbreds of Aiken? They're gonna have to have like the, I don't know. It's gonna have to be like the Congressman's Cup or something. I don't know. But definitely they need to have some kind of good natural rivalry with Aiken, too, in the USC system. That's going to be another really fun element, I think, of that move to the Peach Belt. So, well, enjoy whenever I get a chance. I enjoy listening to you guys call those USCB games. You do a fantastic job. Who's your color commentator been recently? He's
Alex Long, a student at USCB. He's been filling in on the weekday games, and we'll have Bracken Lambert back on the weekend games. Right. But really impressed by the knowledge and the poise and the ability of Alex on mic with me, and he's been on it so far.
That's why I asked. He's very good. You guys are a good team together. I'm getting the impression you're easy to work with because everybody works well with you. But Alex does a nice job. So please pass along my compliments because
Alex Long doing a tremendous job, and really grateful and excited to continue working with him this season.
Very good. All right. Well, speaking of working with young people, I mean, that's one of our favorite things we do is, working with our interns and working with student athletes and those things too. But a really cool story that happened organically this fall. My daughter has made her triumphant return to softball after retiring following her 1.5 season of coach pitch baseball at age 5. But she's come back. So I'm coaching 9-10 rec softball. New world for me a little bit. Baseball is my jam, but some different elements to softball. But we were scrimmaging the other night, and I noticed that Parker Ray from the Bluffton Bobcats was helping out with the other team. So I went over and was talking with her and said, well, we got to find somebody else to help our team because we definitely need some help too. And the next day I had Alyssa Rose online to help our team. So she has joined us as a volunteer assistant. And then I believe we had another one. I think Katie Ryan has latched on with the team too. So 3 of the Bobcats. So, now we're going to have to start getting some of these Seahawks and Battery Creek Dolphins and all these different teams, May River Sharks, out here and get involved in this too, because this is something that could be really cool, with the developmental leagues that we have going in various sports during the primary off season. That's an opportunity for kids to get out, high school student athletes to get out and volunteer, not only as maybe coaches, but as officials, just to give back to the game and help the next generation keep playing and having a good experience. And so I hope that that Parker's gesture to help out and then inspiring a couple more will spark something that we'll see more of this happening. This is a cool thing that could really be great for everybody involved.
This is awesome. Seeing our local high school softball players giving back to their community and helping that next generation, next group of stars succeed and find the love of softball and continue to play in the diamond. And Parker Ray mentioned starting the trend a few weeks ago and coaching a 9 and 10-year-old rec softball team this fall. Of course, a tremendous pitcher for Bluffton, and she is committed to play at Embry-Riddle. So what an awesome opportunity for these kids to, get to learn from a young woman who they may have watched before in the stands, and it's only going to inspire them to do great things going forward. So love to see it. Lowco helping Lowco. That's what we're all about. And then thanks to your tweet involving Parker, Alyssa Rose, a future USCB Sand Shark, is also helping out with a 9-10 team. So,
and guess what, Wes? Guess what the name of our team is? Our girls voted on the team name. There were some nominations from the gallery, and they voted for the Sand Sharks. So that was before we picked up Alyssa. So I think it was meant to be.
Should I say that is fantastic?
There you go.
That's awesome. And I look forward to seeing some more softball stars from around the Lowco helping out. And, who knows, maybe that young girl who falls in love with the game because of these high school players becomes a coach of her own in the next 7-8 years or so. So, I mean, we say it all the time, a rising tide lifts all boats, and nothing better than seeing our own Lowco stars, nothing better than seeing our own Lowco stars who we cover become those role models and teachers and leaders and setting the example for our next crop of girls. So thank you, Parker, Alyssa, and so many others for making us proud.
Yeah, no question. It's really cool to see. That's one of the things I love about this place. There is that sense of community. And I love to see people, getting in and doing what they can. Each one reach one, they say. It's just do your part to try to make, your little quarter of the world a little bit better. And if we all do that, it'll make a huge difference. So speaking of role models and repping the Lowco, we got Kacy Fields up next, Wes. He's been the spotlight guy and putting up ridiculous numbers, trying to get him some more love. And hopefully, our interview will shed some more light on what a great kid Kacy is. The most slept on kid in South Carolina, as his coach says, coming up next on the LowcoSports Lowdown.
Hey, Lowco sports fans, we're all about keeping it local, and that goes for pizza night too. When you've got a craving for the best pie in town or the best kept secret, their amazing mac and cheese, keep it local with Local Pie. They have 2 locations, on the Promenade in Bluffton and on New Orleans Road on Hilton Head Island, where they serve up incredible wood-fired pizza featuring regional sourced ingredients, and their mac and cheese is the best kept secret in town. And they're committed to giving back to the community and protecting the environment. So when it's time for takeout, keep it local with Local Pie, the official pizza sponsor of Lowco Sports. Hey Lowco athletes, the Lowco Hoops Report is powered by 843 Sport. No matter the sport, if you're looking to take your game to the next level, 843 Sport is your one-stop shop on the way to success. Located off Ardent Road in Okatee, 843 Sport has brought a powerhouse team under one roof as the new home of H2 Basketball, Seaside Volleyball Club, Gunner Strength Club, and Marwin Klein Sports Performance Academy, with more to come. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at 843 Sport and get in the game. Hey Lowco sports fans, does your business or organization need a new website or need help drawing more visitors to an existing site? DDS Web Design can make it happen. From simple HTML pages to get businesses online to complex site designs with maximum functionality, DDS has services suited to every budget, and they love working with small businesses and entrepreneurs. They also build year-round maintenance into every package, so your website is always up to date. Check them out at ddswebdesign.com or call 843-931-8668 and tell them Lowco sent you.
All right, Lowco sports fans, we are very excited now to be joined by the man of the hour, the man of the last 3 weeks at least, Kacy Fields from Beaufort High School. And Kacy, we were just talking a little bit before we went live, but connecting the dots a little bit. Somebody mentioned the other day when I was calling out the stats that you had put up over at Battery Creek, somebody said, "Oh, that's Ty Fields' little brother," and I had not connected the dots, but little bit of history with your family in Beaufort High School football. So this is your opportunity to talk a little smack. Are you the better Fields brother, or what's up?
I think I'm the better Fields brother. I believe I'm the better Fields brother.
Well, you've definitely been making a case these past few weeks since you moved to running back. 774 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, just unbelievable stuff, and just carrying the team really on offense. I mean, 26, 27, 30 carries the last 3 games. How's your body holding up to this new role? You're taking a lot of hits.
My body is holding up well. After the game, I just, go ice my body, take ice baths or whatever. Just get ready for the next week.
Kacy, how fun has it been these last few weeks doing some damage on the ground and racking up all those yards? It's got to be fun winning these games with Beaufort Eagles and putting up some insane performances along the way.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, but still in the learning process of getting the new position and learning some more plays as we go along. But so far, so good.
Well, talk to us about those big guys up front, because, I mean, honestly, they make it look easy because they make you some big old holes to run through, and you hit them hard. Don't get me wrong, but they're doing some work. Talk about those guys and the job that they're doing on the offensive line for you.
My big guys up front, I love my big guys up front because they'll make the whole bus can fit through the hole type thing. It's big holes. I mean, it's not hard to miss either. So they're gonna get the job done for sure.
They've been putting up some great work there on the offensive line. Tell me more about your journey, especially these last few weeks, transitioning to running back from your role primarily before at wide receiver. Tell me about how that transition came place, how you've really gone seamlessly into this new position, and what did Coach tell you as you make that transition from a receiver now to running back?
Really, all he was saying, just play Kacy's football. That's it. I was originally a running back quarterback in my middle school. So I knew exactly what I was doing because I always played running back since I was actually a little kid. It was just coming to high school and then transitioning into a receiver and then transitioning back to a running back. So like I'm really used to it. It's like it's not really a big transition, but
Yeah, and you've been playing in the system obviously, so you know the scheme and the plays, and you're a student of the game. So I'm sure you pay attention to other guys' roles on different plays and things like that. So not a huge transition for you. And at the end of the day, you're just going out there and being an athlete, right? I mean, just showing, going 100%, hitting the hole as hard as you can. No doubt, just doing it with confidence is a big part of it. You see that a lot of times when a guy comes in off the bench, somebody gets hurt, and he just doesn't run with that same level of confidence. There's a little bit of hesitancy, but you have accepted the role head on and just slamming yourself into the hole, into the pile, fighting for yards. What does this senior year mean to you? I mean, you guys got so close last year. To have another opportunity now, what does this mean to you to try to do it all?
This year, it means a lot to me, actually. This is the last year of high school football, so you gotta make this your best year. I posted on my Twitter saying like this year is gonna be the most disrespectful year or something like that. I posted on my Twitter. So yeah, gotta take it personal. It's my last year and I gotta make a name for myself.
Well, you've certainly been doing that so far these first few weeks of the season. Tell me more about your journey through football, through your middle school and high school years so far, and who are some people that inspired you along the way to become the best athlete, and just your drive and your work ethic on the field these last few years to get to this point is it's really inspirational.
I would say I would like to shout out my brother and my mom and my dad, especially Coach Library and Coach Denzel. We work out almost every weekend on the beach, on the field, anywhere we can get working, weight room, whatever. As long as we just get work, we just get to work so I can get better as it goes.
I mean, there's no secret sauce, right? It's just you put in the work, you get it out. I mean, I think kids need to hear that. I think a lot of people don't understand that, like, you got what you got, but what you do with it is up to you. And you put in the work, you're gonna see it come back out. So love to hear you say that, because that is really the key. And you got to put in the work in other areas too. We were talking a little before. Straight A's on the report card right now, which is great to hear. It can be really tough to keep up with that stuff in the season, but by the senior year, you usually kind of got it on lockdown. What are some tips you can give to maybe some young guys who are trying to navigate this for the first time? How do you stay on top of the studies and the workouts and the playbook and the film and all that stuff? How do you balance it all?
Really, you just balance. You just gotta just don't let nothing pile up on you. Just all get it done at one time. I mean, don't get it done at one time, but just progress.
Stay on top of it.
Yeah, just stay on top of it, and don't let nothing hold you back.
Well, you are having a heck of a senior year, Kacy. Have you given yourself any thought about the future, or any plans that may have come up so far on what you might be doing after Beaufort?
After I leave here, I want to go to college and I want to study engineering. So as of right now, I only got one offer, but my backup plan is really the engineering.
Yeah, so academics, that's the top priority, is finding that engineering program. So hopefully anybody out there with an engineering program that needs a dynamic player who's going to go 100% for you and give you everything he's got, Kacy Fields is on the market. So Anderson University, the only offer for you, which is an intriguing, program, but definitely not the kind of engineering school maybe you're looking for. But what kind of offense would you see yourself? What are the schools that you're looking at? Where would you like to go play? And is walking on something that you're willing to do at the right school?
The schools I would like to play for, I mean, I'm really looking at two schools right now, App State and SC State. Those are my top two schools that I'm really looking at right now. But I don't really have a problem with walking on. As long as I get an opportunity, I know I'm going to show out either way I go. But as long as I get an opportunity.
Yeah, Colton Ferry is committed to Appalachian State, your teammate. And speaking of this Beaufort team, how about the way that defense is playing? How proud are you of these guys who have really elevated their game so far this year, especially these last few weeks to get to that level on defense? And you guys are flying high right now so far, region play. Tell me about the defensive effort.
The defensive effort is really good. It's been, last year we had a great defense last year. We still in the building progress of getting our defense better this year, and we got a lot of people stepping up. We still have some young guys on defense actually, but we're playing varsity football, so they got to step up and do what they got to do.
Yeah, that group of seniors though, your classmates. I mean, you got Bauer Sox is just a spark plug guy over there. You got the twins in the secondary are locking it down. Colton, of course. Jack Sumner's having a really good year. I mean, you guys got a really solid senior class. And how important is that leadership from that senior class as you guys bring those young guys along?
It's important for the senior class because the young guys that actually look up to us. So we got to be role models and we got to lead them the right way for the rest of the time that they're here.
Well, Kacy, it's got to be a special feeling to play in Lee's Island. Just the electricity out there with the fans and just the environment out there on game days. There's nothing like it at the high school football level. Tell me about the culture that you guys have helped create, especially after that run to the state title game. Take me back on how awesome that ride was and just reflect on the culture and what you guys have done to make Beaufort High a strong football program in Class 4A in South Carolina School League.
I would say like the environment, it's a good environment. It's a great environment. It's live stands every Friday. And they just when they're live, we're live. So we just like feed off of their energy.
Yeah, those Kirkland Crazies, man, they're pretty hype. They're pretty fun. I love the PA over there. I love the playlist. They get it popping pretty good over there. So, and you guys definitely have made it easy to cheer for you too. Because you've been successful. But talk a little bit about your young quarterback because he's come along pretty nicely too, and that was a big question. Tyler Haley obviously was an outstanding quarterback for you guys, and there was a little bit of a question mark about Samari Barnes coming as a sophomore, but he's pretty electric, and he's starting to – you can see the game slowing down for him a little bit, can't you? He's starting to make the reads a little bit better and feel a little more comfortable out there.
He's still a young quarterback, only a sophomore. But,
Right.
As we practice, make the right reads. If you don't make the right reads, then we got to restart. We got to redo it over till he can get it right. So I would say he's progressive. By his senior year, he's gonna be top tier.
I'm definitely a believer in him so far, and expect some big things in these last few games, and some big few games as well into region play. Now just picked up that big win over Philip Simmons. How important was it to get that first region victory, and just take me through that victory at home over the Iron Horses?
The victory at home, it set the tone for the region. It make us feel like since now that we beat Philip Simmons, we got to do the rest. We got to finish out the rest of the region. Then, playoffs come, we can get the home field advantage.
I know you guys have to be hyped to be playing Battery Creek again this year. It's been a minute since you guys tangled with your crosstown rival. Played it on a Saturday, so that's going to be interesting. And if they didn't have your attention before, do they have your attention now? They won a couple in a row, beat Whale Branch, nice comeback last week. You guys are not going to sleep on the Dolphins, right?
No, we're not going to sleep on the Dolphins. They got a new head coach, Coach Ash from he came from here as a receiver coach. So I don't think that I don't think he slept on me. It's just like he's now getting to see what I'm capable of for real.
Yeah, Battery Creek's going to be a tough test for sure. Took down Whale Branch, so really excited about this Dolphins team going forward. But you guys have your sights set on the region title. What's it going to take to finish off that run and come out on top as region champs?
It's just going to take the hard work. Just hard work. Just take every day at a time and just practice hard, like how we always do.
And one play at a time. You got Creek this week. You also got Hanahan in the region, which will be a tough challenge. Mm-hmm. And then you look ahead to the playoffs. And I know you're not supposed to do that yet. It's one game at a time. But are there any teams in this 3A bracket that you guys are already kind of thinking about a little bit that you're going to have to go through them, or they're going to have to go through you?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I would just just take one game at a time. Just take one game at a time and just do what we got to do on offense and defense and just get the job done and just move on.
Can't get him to break, Wes.
I love it. Great stuff, Kacy. Tell me more about your relationship with Coach Bryce Libran. He has done so many phenomenal things for this Beaufort High program, and how has he grown you as an individual and as a football player and gotten most out of you?
I came in here as a freshman and he accepted me on the varsity team. Ever since then, me and Coach Libran, our relationship has been getting very strong. And, he's just been trusting me to just put the ball in my hands and just do what I got to do with it.
And he's had some really kind things to say about you and heartfelt, calling you the most slept on kid in South Carolina. You kind of wear that as a chip on your shoulder, don't you? I mean, is that a little bit of motivation for you, the fact that you haven't gotten those offers?
I mean, that's a lot of motivation. Actually, I just feel like I wouldn't say I'm better than other people, but I feel like I work harder than most people out there. And it's actually showing on the field right now. So, I feel like I got a couple more games. Well, yeah, until the state championship. Yeah, I mean, I got all those games left, so I'm gonna just continue to just work hard and just let my talent speak for me.
Yeah, there's no better feeling, Kacy, of celebrating on the sidelines with your teammates. How awesome is that to, after scoring in the end zone? You found the end zone on the, I believe, 5 times the last time I came over to Ladies Island. What's that feeling like of celebrating with your friends after some big performances like that on the field?
It's a great celebration. Like, after 5 touchdowns, like nobody just go out and get 5 touchdowns like all of a sudden. But I got to thank my offensive line for actually letting me get those 5 touchdowns, because I was 13 yards away from the 300 mark against Buffton. And then Coach Lybrand was like, you got 2 plays left. So I was like, all right, let's run the first play. We ran the first play and scored. We was running on the field, actually, and my offensive line was like, you're going to score right here. Next thing you know, I scored my 5th touchdown.
Ended with 341, I think, right? That's crazy,
Yep.
Man. Unbelievable stuff. How much time do you guys put in some time working on the hand slaps and the celebrations, or is it all organic on the spot?
Nah, I just feel like it's all organic on the spot. Everything just happens at that one time.
Well, hey, Kacy, we appreciate you. Wes, you got one more before we let Kacy go?
I got to ask it, what would it mean to go all the way and bring home a state title to Beaufort and Ladies Island?
It would mean a lot. Like, we haven't had a state championship until, like, I think it was like the 1940s, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was the 1940s. It's either 1940s or 1960s. But if we bring it back to the city, then that would mean a lot.
I believe the Beaufort tidal wave might have won one in the 60s, if I'm not mistaken. I know Beaufort High School proper, I think it's the 40s. But we'd have to get Coach Glaze on to clarify that history for us. He cleared it all up for us. He knows it all cold. But nonetheless, the Fields family, a rich part of that Beaufort High football history. And you're writing your own chapter right now, man. And we appreciate you taking a little time to share some time with us and share some of the insight. And we love watching you play football, and it was great to get to meet you and know you a little bit better on the other side of things.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much to Kacy Fields. If you got an engineering program and you need an athlete, you better check him out. He's on Huddle. And we'll be right back with more here on the LowcoSports Lowdown. Well, Wes, I don't know how many times we've said this, but that was one of the best interviews we've ever had on the podcast. I mean, truly, Kacy was a little anxious about it. From my understanding, he just interviews not really his thing. He's kind of a humble guy who doesn't really like to talk about himself too much. He likes to let the actions speak. And but it was terrific. I mean, he's obviously a really sharp kid. Phenomenal work ethic. You see it on the field, and clearly to be able to maintain your GPA while putting in that kind of work, you got to have some discipline and work ethic on that side of things too. So I came away an even bigger Kacy Fields fan than I already was, and I was already a pretty big fan because I've seen him play, and I know what Bryce Lybrand has to say about him, and I respect his opinion a lot. So, but to speak with Kacy one-on-one like that, I came away an even bigger fan, and I know you did too.
Just an exceptional student athlete, both in the classroom and on the football field. And I've enjoyed following this young man so much. And talk about a kid who's been labeled as that underrated guy and someone who's super talented and has that killer work ethic, but just hasn't gotten that deserved shot. And now he's getting it, and he is absolutely thriving. What we've been seeing over these last few weeks at Beaufort High has been so special, and very happy and privileged to witness that Bluffton game where he ran for over 340 yards. And I mean, Kacy Fields has been on the most dominant 3-game run in this position of Lowco that I have seen in a very long time, and just been sensational at running back. And what an absolute electric athlete to watch and root for on the field. And some of the quickest legs and motor that I've ever witnessed here, and really has become the heart and soul of a Beaufort team that still has that underdog, blue-collar, chip on their shoulder mentality. And I expect Lybrand to continue to ride Fields for the rest of the season. And I just hope that he gets the attention that he deserves, because he is a phenomenal student athlete in every sense of the word. And there is going to be a sizable role for him at the next level.
No question. And it's kind of funny because I've been teasing Bryce that, like, hey, does this mean you've been misusing Kacy all this time? Like just giving him trouble about it. But it's just, I mean, I don't think every kid can do that. You just go, hey, you're going to have to move to running back. And like, they can do it, but they can't do it like that. 10 yards a carry. I mean, it's insane. Now the offensive line gets a ton of credit for that. And Kacy's quick to give them that credit, but the same offensive line was blocking before, and they weren't putting up points, and now they can't be stopped. So Kacy Fields gets a ton of credit. And I mean, the work ethic, I loved how plain and simple he said, like, there ain't no magic to it. You got to work. You got to put in the work. And when you do, you'll get something back. And a lot of kids need to hear that it's not, people will tell you about your talent and your potential and all those things, but it's up to you to reach it. They can tell you what to do all day or what you're capable of doing, but until you get up and go and put in the work, it's not going to happen. It doesn't happen by magic. So it was great to hear that from Kacy, and he's definitely a testament to that. And like you said, somebody's going to get very fortunate. Even if he may be walking on somewhere at Clemson or Georgia Tech or someplace if he decides that's where he wants to study engineering. Although certainly the places he mentioned, South Carolina State is a place that could absolutely use his talents. App State, another place that you could definitely see him fitting in. He can play defense too. He can play special teams. He's a gamer. He's an athlete, and he's the kind of guy that you want to have in your program because he's going to make people around him better.
Absolutely. What a special product. I mean, he has risen to the occasion this year, and I just won't doubt him, whatever he decides to go with that level of work ethic and talent on the field. And the sky's the limit for what he can do. And kind of like what we've seen, he's a special breed. A name that comes to mind, Deebo Samuel, a guy who watched last night and just look at what he brings to the table in terms of his speed and the ability to make plays whenever his number is called, and kind of so many different facets of the game, whether on special teams or on offense. But I mean, this is a guy who's, I think, has that kind of same mentality that he's going to make plays wherever he's put on the field, and he's got the athleticism to do it whenever he's called upon. So excited for Kacy Fields, and I just cannot be more high on him as he gets ready to take this next step. And I think wherever spot he lands, he's going to make a sizable impact, whether it's on the football field, in the classroom, or I think it's going to be both going forward. But man, what a special young man. I've been so grateful to cover him, and I think we could be in for a special story as we go towards November here for the Beaufort Eagles.
Yeah, for sure. And just thinking about Kacy at the next level, I mean, you look at a lot of these offenses people run now, and he's the kind of guy that you can put him in there as your single back, move him out in motion into the slot and go empty and not lose anything, because he's a receiver and he's a running back. So you can run jets with him. You can run speed option. He's a very versatile guy that would fit into a lot of these multiple type systems that want to show you a bunch of different looks and have a lot of interchangeable parts. He's that guy. He's a Swiss Army knife guy. So I think the sky's the limit for him. I think most certainly what he's doing right now is going to get some attention, and definitely Anderson is not going to be the only one on him for much longer. If they are, then people done lost their minds, because this guy's a college football player, plain and simple. So, well, enough about Kacy Fields, although I'm sure we'll have more to say about him after the Eagles take on Battery Creek on Saturday, because he's going to get the ball a bunch, I'm sure. But let's name our teams of the week, Wes. You get the first crack at it. Who are we going to go with your team of the week?
I am going to recognize the Hilton Head Prep girls tennis team. And we've talked a lot about that Hilton Head Seahawks squad this year on the tennis court. They just knocked off Lucy Beckham, their eye in the 4A state title, but the Dolphins beat them last night, 5-4. Quite an impressive victory for Hilton Head Prep, a team with some terrific athletes in these Olympic sports year after year, but not easy to go up against a Seahawks team with some outstanding depth. But the Dolphins take it in a thriller, 5-4. Had to go to first doubles decided, and Lucy Smeal and Emma Grant get it done, 9-7 in an 8-game pro set. And what an unbelievable match. And how about the effort by these two to knock off Emily Ruckno and K.S. Kersey? And, Ruckno, one of the top players in the state of South Carolina. I mean, no easy task to go up against her. And then Emma Grant, Maria Herman, and Mika Shineda also picking up some key singles wins. And then Molly Rankin and Amelia York winning in third doubles. So that's some impressive stuff, handing the the Seahawks their first loss of the season. So I'm very excited for what's to come to the Dolphins and this Giza 3A, and congratulations on an outstanding victory.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive because Hilton Head is very strong. Now I will say that's the Skiza format, the 6 singles and the 3 doubles.
Right.
Might be a different matchup in the high school league format, and I think Hilton Head did beat them earlier in the season in that format. So you build your team for the format you play in the playoffs, and you would expect that 2 teams that are built to win state championships would be able to get the better of the other in their preferred format, and that's the case there. So definitely an iron sharpens iron situation, though, and I know our guy David Ruckno has to be proud that both of his girls got singles wins. So that's good stuff. I'm sure that number 1 match was phenomenal. Got 2 fantastic teams going at it there. All right, Wes. Well, I'm going to break our rules here. I'm going to go against the grain here. We had so much stuff wiped out by Ian that we're kind of struggling to come up with a really good one. But we do have a football team that we need to throw some serious love to, because we didn't have enough information about their game on Wednesday night to get it all out there. But Estill, the Estill Gators, the Fighting Gators of Estill, knocked off number 1 Bamberg Earhart in Class 1A, and they didn't just beat them; they beat them 40-6. I was DMing with our guy Xavier Garvin after the game and getting some details, and he said I think they might have been down like 1 guy, but no, we just beat them. Garvin went 13 for 182 and 2 touchdowns, and he was 5 for 7 for 142 yards with 2 touchdowns and a pick. Threw a couple TDs to Angelo Lewis. Jameel Bobian had a touchdown run as well, and the defense was just nasty. Just shut them down against a Bamberg team that is, that's a perennial powerhouse type of program. Like we said, ranked number 1 going into the game, and Estill just making a huge statement to open region play. And now they go to Whale Branch this week in what's going to be a phenomenal Lowco on Lowco matchup. So can't be more excited about this Estill team at a time when, we made the plunge into covering Hampton County this season, and what a perfect time it was, unbeknownst to us, that the timing was going to be great for all these Hampton County teams to be playing so well. But the Gators, I definitely didn't see this coming from them going into the season, but this is phenomenal stuff.
Wow, well, what a statement victory for the Estill Gators, and this is a team that has been trending in the right direction. They played an excellent game, phenomenal game against Wade Hampton in that final rivalry match before those 2 teams combined and joined forces to become the Hampton Hurricanes next year, which I'm just super excited about. But man, what a victory for Estill, and just so proud of Xavier Garvin and that squad, because they have some dudes on that team, and the defense was just impenetrable all night, and we saw shades of it from how well that defensive line played these last week. But they put it all together and knocked off number 1 team in Class 1A, and I'm very excited for this region now, because we got a couple teams that are kind of right neck and neck with each other in terms of talent, and I'm not sure where it's going to go from here, but it's going to be fun to see how this region finishes in these next few weeks in 1A, because it's certainly wide open for the Tanky right now in the lower state. And you got to think Estill is going to be right up there with some of the best teams in that lower state group. So what a fantastic display from the Estill Gators. They've got a brim with confidence right now, and yeah, I'm just so excited for them as they continue on this season for them and this Hampton County football area. They've got some outstanding athletes, and just cannot wait to see them on the same team next year. But going to enjoy the ride for both the Red Devils and the Estill Gators, and what a phenomenal matchup in 1A between Whale Branch and Estill this week.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'll be completely transparent. The talent that was slipping through the cracks in Hampton County is a big reason why we now cover Hampton County, because we watched it, firsthand last year with Jamie and Risher, and that's a kid that you could compare favorably to Jalen Sneed, and they had very different paths, and we'd like to think that we can help to shine a little bit more of a light on Hampton County and maybe make sure that those guys don't slip through the cracks. So we definitely want to shout out those Estill guys for what they're doing over there, as well as, at Wade Hampton and Patrick Henry. They're playing some darn good football, tough dudes out there in Hampton County, and we're proud to be covering them and letting folks know how they're doing. And Estill is in position now. in the catbird seat, as they say, to win that region if they can take care of business at Whale Branch this week. And that puts you in a real good spot where you're not going to have to go on the road until very late in the playoffs. So, they got a chance to make some real noise in their last season before they team up with their rivals up the road and become the Hurricanes. So very good stuff there. That's our show, Wes. Good stuff. As always, thanks so much to Kacy Fields. He was phenomenal. Can't wait to see him keep playing football this fall and beyond. And thanks, of course, to our sponsors who make everything possible. And to our listeners and viewers. You guys are the ones who keep us coming back and doing it again. If you didn't listen and didn't watch, we would probably eventually stop doing this, I think. So it is a lot of fun, though, Wes. Enjoyed it as usual. You have a great week, and we will see you next time. Until then, go Lowco.